thanks again for joining us. And this is episode 4 in our startup series for 2022. Today we're talking about behaviour development and expectations. In the last episode, we talked about some positive and supportive behaviours to create that learning environment that we all want, and the importance that we all feel safe, respected, and have the right to learn. And we touched on our 4 Cs. Today we're looking at a few more specific behaviours and general expectations. First of all is the class entry routine, and this year we are starting up with a good focus on our routine, and this does actually make a difference. When we're unsettled and we've come in running late to school or playing basketball in the playground, whatever it is, having a big conversation at lunch, it's important that we settle our mind and get ready to transition to focus on learning before we enter the classroom. And we also need to check that we have all our necessary equipment, that our phone's away, our uniform's neat and tidy, and I encourage you, of course, to bring a water bottle. And then once we move in, we line up, we follow the teacher's instructions, and we greet our colleagues, our peers, our fellow students and our teachers as we enter the room. All right, so please do follow that routine. It does actually help settle us all and get that supportive learning environment happening. Then in the classroom and for the classroom, we've had these general expectations for a while. They are your responsibility to follow. There's nothing that should be new there. We've got to be on time. We participate in class. We try to bring our positive attitude and our mindset to the lesson. We're considerate and respectful. We follow our instructions. We wear the correct uniform. We have our phones off and out of sight. And of course, we remain safe at all times. So this helps us be considerate of others and does again help build that supportive learning environment. This year, like at the end of last year, the phone expectations are very clear and they remain unchanged. The phones are not to be in class. All right, we've consulted the community and even the student body, and their unanimous voice is very clear that it's not helpful for learning. We all need time away from tech, so the classroom is a phone-free zone. And so please put your phones away. And if you are asked to submit it, or you need to submit it to get it looked after at client services, please do so. And I've put on there avoid secondary behaviour. And that of course means if you are reminded about this expectation, don't react and get angry and do those sorts of things, because then that becomes the behaviour we need to follow up and focus on, and it can be completely avoided. So yeah, let's keep our phones out of sight, have some time away from our phones so we can really focus on that learning. Tuesday privilege, I am frustrated that I have to mention this to students again, but it's the same as last year. Do not leave before the bell, please. Don't ask your teacher, just stay in class till the bell goes. We're very privileged to have this early finish on a Tuesday. It is very positively received by students. The seniors in particular are making good time of it for studying for many of them. Some are doing their coursework and some work, but exit directly out of the secondary gate only. Full stop. Do not come onto the primary campus. Pretend that creek is another property with some other building and you can't go out that way, because we are disrupting the primary learning, and we have to respect that, their learning, and we can't go out that way. So just go straight out the secondary gate. And of course, prepare yourself for that. So that might mean you have to plan where you're going to lock up your bike. It might mean you need to change where your parents pick you up from the secondary car park if they're used to the primary end. And yes, it is a bit of an inconvenience to those living on our west side, but if you're organised, it's only a very short delay. All right, and if you can't leave because you need to wait for a bus or something else, or you simply want to study in the library in any case, that's where you should be if you're not exited out that secondary gate. So please follow this expectation from the start, and let's not have to talk about it again. All right, dress code, again, no change. It is available on our website. I'll remind you where in a minute. On our secondary student guidelines. I just put a few notables that people have asked me to remind you about. We do have an all black shoe expectation, and remember, this dress code is built with our community in the P&C. This is a collective community thing, just to make sure, I guess, that everybody is not worried about having the right brands or the right look every day, that they can just come to work comfortably, feel equal to others, and focus on learning. And also it does make a difference for our prospective employers and how community perceives us, rightfully or wrongfully, whether you agree with that or not. That is the fact. So please follow the dress code. I'll keep going. So all black shoes. Logos must be on your hat, bag, and shorts. That's an MSC logo. So there's no plain black hats. There's no plain black bags. It has to have an MSC logo. Again, if we need to review this, you talk to your student leaders and we talk to P&C, but that is the expectation. I also, in terms of the shoes, they also need to have that leather and vinyl upper. That's for safety reasons, particularly for the junior secondary students who are all doing those science labs and those rotations through technology. So please be mindful of that. The jewellery expectation is that it's only one small pair of plain sleepers or studs, silver or gold, in the ears only, and everything else doesn't meet our dress code. Also, we've just note at the moment there's excessive unnatural hair colouring is not acceptable, and coloured nail polish and makeup are not acceptable. So I've just listed a few things in that dress code that do raise, I guess, are more pertinent issues or things that we have to be mindful of. So please address that. And if you are reminded about those, our expectation for everybody is that you either remove the item or you change your clothing. And the client services in our uniform shop, they have plenty of clothes for everybody to change into, so there's no reason why everybody can't be in uniform every day. All right, finally, all our rules and policies are available on our website. There is a tinyurl.com MSC Rules OK shortcut. If you just want to remember that or write that down, you can navigate yourself very easily to this page. And in there, of course, there are all sorts of guidelines, and that includes what to do when you're away, either for a planned absence, medical appointment, if you're late or sick, and also what to do around assessment and those sorts of things. And of course, if you can't find what you're looking for, talk to your community leader, your year level head of department, or your year level deputy principal. All right, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.